Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Trevor. Very grateful to have you here. And in today's video, I've got a top 20 list. So these are going to be 20 fragrances that I'm going to be reaching for in this transitional period from the summer into the fall time. So some of the key notes and accords and fragrance genres that I like to reach for during this time of the year are going to be spicy, citrus, dominantly grapefruit and orange instead of lemon and lime, more of that sweety, fruity kind of citrus rather than the tart sour. So we've got vetiver, grapefruit, orange, barbershop, spice, and as well as woody fragrances. So I'm going to start off with 10 of the sub $50 price point fragrances and then move into 10 more designer fragrances. No niche here, so these are all technically in the designer space. So I'm going to get started right away in no particular order. This first one is going to be Dolce & Gabbana's Parfum Homme, and you can search for the vintage version, but that one's niche prices upwards of $300 at times, but this one is perfectly fine, and you can find the 125 mLs of this for just under the $50 price point, sometimes under $40. And as you can see by the dent in here, I really do enjoy this juice. I went out of my way to get the vintage version, but this is an excellent tobacco and lavender fragrance, as well as some bright citruses, which makes it perfect for the transitional period. That citrus lends itself well to the hot weather, while that tobacco lavender is an ideal combination of notes for the autumn time. Great signature scent, and one that I think everyone should at least try once. It's a really classical DNA and perfect for this time of the year. Next, we've got one I did a full review on recently. This is Fly Away from Mugler. This is in their Cologne collection. Recently discontinued, but you can still find this one for under $40 in a lot of places, or at least under $50. Really beautiful grapefruit, very similar to Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever if you've smelled that fragrance. Same quality of grapefruit in there, and then this has really nice, airy, aromatic, light, easygoing, and laid-back sort of green herbal quality coming in from a listed cannabis note, although I don't really smell cannabis per se in terms of that skunky accord. It's just a very nice, pleasant, almost citric-leaning herbal quality going on in here, and it just puts a little bit of a smile on my face. It reminds me of the smiley face emoji from like the 60s and 70s, the original smiley face. It's kind of the tonality that this fragrance gives off. Very light and easygoing. Like I said, it's got an airy quality to it and moderate and intimate projection, so it's really more of a casual fragrance, but I think the grapefruit and green qualities come together really well and service this transitional period. Next, this one's a little bit, I don't want to say dated, but it has an old school feeling, and not old school in terms of the 70s and 80s, like powerhouse and kind of pissy accords that sometimes accompany those older fragrances. This one I think is from the 90s, perfumed by Olivier Cresp, so you've got a quality perfumer behind the composition. This is Kenzo Jungle, a real personal favorite of mine for this transitional period because it has a very nice, beautiful citric combination. There is that more sour lemon lime kind of citrus presence here rather than the grapefruit or orange, but it's accompanied by a really beautiful bouquet of like kitchen spice cabinet, grandma's kitchen spice cabinet sort of spices, like nutmeg and cinnamon, I think. So you get that really nice festive quality autumnal spice going on in combination with the amazing tart lime style citruses. Got a decent little dent in here, and like I said, it's got a 90s feel to it, so it's a little bit dated in that regard, but I think this is great for anybody that was born in the 90s or earlier. It's really easy to pull off, in my opinion, and maybe not the most mass appealing or compliment pulling, but really delightful and high quality for the affordable price point. Next, we've got another recent favorite of mine. Picked this up this past spring. This is a Parfum Lumi. Might have been discontinued from what I've heard, so worth getting your nose on at this point. It's a classical sort of shaving foam scent profile, but it's brightened up and added to a really sort of sunshiny tonality to it. The color of the juice matches the vibe that this fragrance gives off. So there's a yuzu note in here that adds this twangy, sour bit of a brightness to the fragrance. That shaving foam vibe makes it different from some of the other fougères. Really easy, laid back style fragrance, similar to the Fly Away, something that you can wear casually, but it has a little bit more of a dressed up presence to it, a little bit more of a mature feel with that shaving foam fougere style quality. And again, I think I picked this up for like 25 off Joma Shop, so it's a really excellent barbershop fougere style fragrance, shaving foam vibe in that affordable price range, and the citric quality and the bright yellow tone that gives off makes it perfect for coming out of the summertime. Another one in the fougere category, something I generally associate as being a spring fragrance, but I think is great for the summer into fall time as well. This is Lalique L'Insoumis. Kind of hard to come by the 100 mLs right now. I think I saw a few popping up on eBay. Maybe Scented Monkey had 100 ml of this, which was a predominant discounter way back in the day, but they're just on eBay now. I think they only had like 6 of them in stock when I last checked, but still on Lalique's official website. And this is kind of like a very nice peppery basil mojito with a little bit of a coconut sugar kind of sweetness going on, and a really well done clean lavender. So this goes into that fougere style category, but it's got this clean woodiness to it that makes it very modern, very much a neo fougere. And again, you can see that dent, one of my favorite fragrances for all season long. I think this is a perfect signature scent, but there's this very nice bright and clean quality about the woods in here that make this great for coming out of the summer, and then that nice lavender and peppery kind of nuance makes it great for the autumn time. Next, we've got another from Lalique. This is Encre Noir Sport. This is really something that I've also in the past associated with being more of a spring fragrance, but the more that I've gotten to testing out fragrances over the course of multiple years, I think this is great for the August season because it's got that dry quality coming in from the vetiver, and then also that sweet sort of citrus vibe coming in from a grapefruit done rather well in here. So this is one that I've been kind of itching for and kind of had my nose at the atomizer a lot here in the August season. I'm probably going to be wearing this one this week myself. Really high quality, kind of divergent from the other Encre Noirs, so if you found those ones too dark, brooding, and inky, I think this one brightens it up and goes into a lot more of a approachable vibe. And this is the only one of the Encre Noirs that I've ever gotten a compliment on. So that's Encre Noir Sport, another great one transitioning out of the summer into the fall season. Next, we've got Trussardi Riflesso, kind of like La Nuit de Willaume, freshened up with a bright green apple accord. Very nice, pleasant, easy to wear, mass appealing, and perfectly bright yet sweet at the same time. All-star for the transitional season, in my opinion. Next, Dunhill Icon, another one that I generally wear in the springtime, but there's this really nice dry vetiver and pepper combination going on, as well as a really well-done lavender in here. And all of those notes and accords really kind of are evocative of the autumn season, yet the neroli in here keeps it very much a fresh, bright, spring-summer style vibe. So coming out of the summer, moving into September, I think this is another great one to throw on. 2 more of the cheapies, and then we'll get into the formal designer fragrances. This is Junun Oud. It's a clone of Bulgari's Tigar, but it adds rosewood and patchouli, which gives it an added degree of depth and increased woodiness. Otherwise, you have that really nice, zesty, bright, airy, effervescent grapefruit that the Tigar DNA is known for, sweetened up with a little bit of that ambery nuance. Again, anything in this vein, such as Tarathi Blue, which I've not smelled, Rubroca. I'm sure that anything in the Tigar DNA, which I do own a 30 ml of Tigar, is going to be great for transitioning from the summer into the autumn time. I just feel like the added woodiness in this particular rendition of that DNA makes it great for the autumn transitional period. And then finally, third one from Lalique on this list. This is Lalique White, one that I ended up wearing last week. You can check out my weekly rotation from this past 7 days here where I mentioned this one, but it's really nice, creamy cedar with a very fresh, effervescent kind of citrus going on over the top of it. And then some other unique notes like tamarind, which brings a sweetness to here that's very divergent from some of the traditional Tonka vanilla kind of vibe, that keeps this clean and very it's not a very youthful fragrance, so it's very clean and a little bit, I don't want to say mature either, but it's just got a very easygoing wearability about it for anybody that I think is in their 30s and up. Kind of a hidden gem and really affordable. You can get this 125 ml. I think I saw going on like the perfume spot for sub 20 recently. So definitely check this one out. Again, Lalique has some of the best quality offerings for the most affordable prices. And then we're going to move into the top 10 designers, moving out of the cheapies now. So this one is one that is recently discontinued, a little bit hard to come by, but they have, I think, the 60 mLs, maybe like either 50 or 60 ml bottles going on Joma Shop at the moment. This is Cartier Linval, a really nice, beautiful floral honey fragrance, and I think honey is a ideal note for the transition out of the summer into the fall because it has this very bright, it's like made out of pollen, so it has this bright golden hue to it and a unique sweetness that is also not quite vanilla tonka bean-esque, and this one just does it very well. Very natural smelling. Also, usually if I've been out at like a campground or somewhere in nature during this period of the year, I get covered in insects because they smell this honey on me and they're attracted to the scent profile. So very nice, natural smelling floral honey fragrance. A little bit of a hidden gem and recently discontinued, so worth kind of hunting down if you can get your nose on it right now. Cartier is one of the best designer houses in my opinion. It's a shame that a lot of their best offerings end up getting discontinued. Next, we have Dior Homme 2020. Nice kind of powdery woods with a citrus overtone. Easy to wear, signature scent. A little bit boring, but very mass appealing. Pulls me probably the most compliments out of anything in this top 20 list here. And as you can see, nice little dent there. Really enjoy wearing this one. I even own the Sport Flanker, which is very similar to this, and that one's got quite a dent in there as well. So I enjoy this fragrance, and it comes a little bit similar in terms of scent profile to Tigar. They're like, it's not redundant to own both, but they both have this kind of powdery, citrus, ambery tone to them. I think this one is the best bang for your buck, though. It's a kind of right in that middle. It's not like overpriced, but it's a higher quality designer than some of the cheapies, and really worth getting your nose on, even though it's not got the iris that the original Dior Homme had. I think that's a great offering. Next one, another honey featured fragrance. This is 1 Million Lucky from Paco Rabanne. Now this one has been transitioned into a bit of a limited run. I think Paco Rabanne was kind of reduced the amount of production on this one because they almost discontinued it, but then they decided to keep it on life support in some sense. So you can really only find this one at like Macy's or the major retailers like Nordstrom. But I have seen them doing sales on this you can get the 100 ml for like $100, and I think that's a fine. It's a little bit higher than what I would like to pay. I think I picked up this 100 ml bottle or this is a 200 ml bottle back in the day for like $90. But it's still a really high quality fragrance, mass appealing, compliment pulling, easy to wear, light, airy, ozonic. There's, like I said, honey, and then a little bit of a plum sweetness going on in here, and then also a nutty accord. I think it's not like, it might be chestnut or hazelnut. I think it's hazelnut in here. So it's a very unique fragrance, and that nuttiness kind of offers this unique texture and sweetness that's also not a vanilla tonka. That makes this a really great option for the transition out of the summer into the fall. Really beautiful fragrance, and definitely one that you should get your nose on if you can go out and sample it at like a Macy's. Next one, another one that's been recently discontinued, but you can still find this 100 ml at Joma Shop for around $100 right now. This is Bugari Parfum Extreme. I think it was replaced by an Eau de Parfum version of this. I've not got my nose on anything from the line other than this Extreme one, but this is a really high quality, spicy citrus fragrance. So that spice makes it great for the autumn season, but the citric quality in here is all-star in the summertime. And another one that I've gotten a lot of nice emphatic compliments from women, and then from men I've gotten told that I carry this one exceptionally well for my person. So this one's a little bit near and dear to me for that reason, but it's just a really high quality offering, perfumed by Jacques Cavalier, who's done all of the summertime bangers from Louis Vuitton. So you're getting a quality nose behind that one. Next, we've got Terre Hermes Eau Intense Vetiver. So the original Terre Hermes is also a great pick for this time of the year. I think this Dior Homme 2020 goes a little bit into the same vein as the OG Terre Hermes. It's got a little bit of that powdery woodiness with that little bit of an orangey kind of citric quality going on. The original Terre Hermes gets a little bit too dirty and off-putting, I think, at times. That's how it was to me when I was a newer nose or getting into the fragrance game, but I've grown to appreciate it quite a bit, and think it's a very elegant fragrance, but this one has this really nice dense vetiver and then this kind of sour dirty lemon going on instead of the orange. And I think that lemon bright yellow tonality that this has is great for the summer season, but the dense earthy dry vetiver going on in here is great for that transition into the autumn. And this is going to be one of the best in terms of just articulating that transitional period for me, at least. Again, it's a little bit not most mass appealing, I would say, but great for people that enjoy more mature fragrances. Now, this next one is mass appealing and for people that enjoy more youthful style fragrances. It's exceptionally sweet, and it's one that I'm kind of on the fence with. It's not particularly my taste because of the heavy sweetness, but it is one that my wife likes, and it's something that I tend to wear if I know I'm going to be around a lot of people and I'm trying to be either inoffensive or mass appealing for that reason. And it dries down into something a little bit more herbal and tolerable because of those increased herbs. It also has a very beautiful citrus offering with some peppery nuances. This is Versace Aeros Flame. Probably my second favorite in the line. I think the original Parfum is probably my go-to in terms of the Aeros flankers currently. It's that one I like to wear in the wintertime, though, and this is my favorite pick for the autumn season. And like I said, it's just got a very creamy vanilla that makes it a little bit youthful for me, but the great spice and orange style citrus going on in here, which kind of comes back into those major accords, which I like to reach for. So Versace Aeros Flame, a really great, affordable one. You can usually find that for like $55 if you can score a tester. Next one, L'Instant de Guerlain Eau de Toilette. Huge dent in this one, going to have to replace it eventually. And this is a really nice powdery sort of sandalwood and cedar combination with a chocolate cacao dryness and then a excellent lemon going on over the top of all that. So this one is great in terms of transitional periods because it has this light, airy, powdery, dry, woody sweetness going on, and then a absolutely stunning citrus lemon going on over the top of all that. Makes it perfect for this transitional period, and just an elegant, gentlemanly, classy fragrance from Guerlain, one of the best houses in the designer realm. Another one from Hermes. We've got Voyage d'Hermes Eau de Parfum, or Parfum, the black version here. This one is a very creamy cardamom bomb. It's got some floral nuances and a very nice tart citric quality as well. So this is absolutely one of the best. And if I was ranking this list, I think this might be in the top 3 in terms of articulating the transitional periods. I think this is great for transitioning from spring to summer. It's also great from summer to fall. And a little bit of a hidden gem. You can usually find this if you can get a tester for like $70. Otherwise, it's right around $100. And I think a great offering from Hermes, and probably also one of the more unisex offerings because of the heavy floral nuance, which I think florals also do really good in September. And finally, these last two here, we've got Eau Sauvage Parfum from Dior. This is one of my favorite DNAs in all of fragrances. This would probably be at least this or the original 2012 vintage version would be in my top 10 of all time. Easy to wear, classical, fougere style approach. This one has a little bit of a vetiver nuance, which also makes it great for the transitional period. It also has a great citron note, gives it this bright, sparkly, effervescent quality going on, and then a very exceptionally well done lavender in here. One of my favorite fougères and fragrances, point blank period. Eau Sauvage Parfum from Dior. And then finally, we've got Tom Ford Costa Azura Parfum. This is a very mature take on the Acqua di Gio style DNA. Removes some of the aquatics, but keeps that coastline marine green vibe going on, and then a heavy dose of cypress. So it's as if you're in a cypress forest with the coastline far off into the distance, but still visible. No salty nuances, but very much a kind of fresh, airy, ozonic quality going on over some very dense woods. And then a really nice, well-done, dry lemon. Very, very elegant and classy, upscale. Reminds me of just being in a country club kind of setting. It has this very polished feel to it. I think polished is what I'm looking for, like that epoxy resin style, clean sheen over the top of some wood finish. This is just kind of what this gives me in terms of a overall vibe. One of my favorites for the summertime, but I think that heavy dose of cypress and the dense woody quality in here makes this great for the drier aspects of the beginning of the autumn. That was my top 20 designers for the transitional period of the year. Let me know what your picks for August to September are going to be in the comment section down below. And as always, I appreciate you sticking with me to the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.